Okay, so ahead of that big launch this Sunday of GB News, GB News chairman Andrew Neil has given quite an in-depth interview for the Evening Standard. In-depth certainly on when it comes to GB News, what you can expect. And I know lots of you planning to tune in, hoping that it provides that alternative to the likes of BBC News and Sky News. And I think, you know, what Andrew Neil's saying in this article, some really interesting points that I think a lot of you will be encouraged by. Do let me know what you make of all of this as ever in the comments below. But the title of the article here, I have one more big gig in me. I am taking on woke culture. And one of the key lines that really stood out for me, one of the key quotes from Andrew Neil in this article, GB News will be more non-metropolitan than existing channels, more provincial, which is a good thing. The provincial voice, he says, has not been powerful enough in Britain. We are for people who think the existing channels don't quite represent how they see things. And of course, whether it's Brexit or a multitude of other issues that have played out over the years, increasingly clear, the media, certainly on TV, I think the newspapers are a lot more representative actually, but in terms of the TV media, it's London-centric, it's middle class, it's left-wing, it's all the things that show why the BBC is so out of touch now and why support for things like the licence fee has gone through the floor. Most Brits, as I've previously talked about now, not in favour of the licensing, think the BBC should be funded through advertising or subscriptions. Interestingly enough, it's been confirmed that Woke Watch will be a 5-minute segment on Andrew Neil's show. We'll have his own show on the channel. And he says that while woke was originally about being aware of social justice issues, it is now not about social justice anymore. He says it's about conformity of thinking that exists in many of our elite institutions, from NGOs to the National Trust and parts of our media. Huge inroads in higher education as well. And he lays out it's not the view of the British people, but it's the view of all those elites in favour. And it's, you know, time and time again, when you look at the opinion polls in this country and you compare it to some of the rhetoric that you see in the media, in the education system and so on. I mean, Foreign Aid's the latest one, of course, where, you know, the vast majority of Brits want to cut, are in support of cutting the foreign aid budget. In fact, it's one of the most popular policies seen in recent time, according to the polling data. And yet all these bleeding heart lefties massively over-represented on the airwaves and elsewhere. And in terms of being patriotic, Andrew Neil very clear. We are British, I am British. I don't think there is any embarrassment in it. Indeed, it is the opposite, he says. We are proud to be British, we'll be fair and accurate, but we won't start out from that default position among the incumbents that whatever Britain does must be useless. That was heightened, he says, by the Brexit debate, and we don't want to reflect that. We report on all the faults and weaknesses of this country, but we also take a certain pride in being British and our successes, the vaccine rollout being one example. I mean, again, I think one of the things that turns off mainstream media, well, I watch less TV now than I ever have done, is because it's so downright depressing and negative all the time. So I think Andrew Neil taking that on, hopefully GB News will have a much more positive sentiment about it. And he also says that he's not worried about this ridiculous, absurd boycott that we've seen from the usual suspects who spend far too much time on Twitter. Neil saying, for everyone that wants to boycott, there are about 10 people who are going to watch. And he said, it only becomes a problem if you don't stand up to them, and I can assure you we will. And I think the fact that you've got some people sad enough that they actually are trying to boycott a channel before it's even broadcast a single second of footage, it just shows you really how intolerant and backwards the thinking of some is, and why you need something like GB News to help redress the balance from these people who basically, especially on the far left, where it comes to universities, where it comes to media, think that they can just shout down, intimidate and stop free speech from even taking place. To Piers Morgan, he's asked about it, Andrew Neil, in this interview, and he said it would be nice to have him. And he says, but if he's going to do more UK news TV, I hope it will be with us. So looks like that could potentially still happen. So guys, I want to know from you, not long to go now, what do you want to see from GB News? Are you encouraged by the lineup you've seen so far? What do you make of Andrew Neil's comments in his interview? Do let me know. And as ever, if you've enjoyed this video, please do support my channel by giving this video a big thumbs up. Hit the join button to become a member if you want to support my channel. Get the members only badge next to your name. And of course, as ever, thanks so much for watching.